This is the Steampunk styled tube amplifier, 16 watt, 3D printed case. We've got it hooked up in the back here. We've got USB going to the computer to program the Arduino. There's RCA input. There's the 2 sets of speaker, and there's power. So it's turned on. We have automatic on, and so what we got to do is start playing some music, which we will do here. And over here on the right, I have just a serial connection to the Arduino as it determines it needs to turn on the system. And yeah, sure enough, the lights will turn on. And we won't hear any music at first because the tubes are warming up. But soon we'll start to hear the music. Now notice the VU meters are pushing above 1. So we're going to lower the volume from the sound card here so that we can get to approximately maxing out at 1. So we'll just go ahead and reduce the sound. Bring that down until, yeah, somewhere around here. Okay, so that's about the right volume to be sending to the amplifier. And now we can use the volume knob to increase the volume to whatever level we want. Now we can see the tubes are warming up. They've got a glow on them. And they're pretty hot. You can feel the heat coming off of them. It will also turn itself off automatically. We stop the music. I currently have it set to, it takes a few minutes before it'll turn off on its own, but that way, in case you forget to turn it off, it doesn't stay hot and perhaps use up electricity that you don't want to spend. Let's have a look inside the amplifier. This circuit board is provided as a kit with the tube amplifier. It includes these 3 transformers. This is the power transformer, and these are the 2 speaker transformers. They're included in the kit. There's some modifications that are made to this kit in order to make it work. A bunch of these capacitors are moved to the bottom side of the board so that they fit, so we can fit the glass on the top. The fuse is moved to the bottom side of the board as well. And then there's 3 capacitors, electrolytic capacitors, that are here, and they're much too high, so they're also flipped down to the bottom side. A few other components are just knocked over, like this one over here. Those small ceramic capacitors. What I've added is a power input over here. It's just a regular wall input. You can see here. So just power from the wall. It's a regular input that you'd have on the back of your computer or monitor. C14. It's got a switch there. That's sort of at a convenience. I've also added an Arduino, and on top of the Arduino is a SparkFun audio board. What that does is it takes input, the same input that's driving the amplifier, and it listens, and when it detects that there's some sound, music, the Arduino recognizes that it should turn on the amplifier, and then down over here there's a solid state relay just straight down there, and that solid state relay then turns on the rest of the unit. So the Arduino stays running all the time. It's really the only thing that's got power most of the time, and then everything else turns on. And as a result of that, it can automatically turn off as well. The speaker outputs are moved to the back, and they used to be just right over here, sort of attached right to the board. I've just moved them to the back so that we have these nice banana jacks. Yeah, right here and here. I've also moved the RCA inputs to the back here, and they're connected from this line here. Now this is a shielded 2 conductor plus a plus the shield. So we've got, you know, 3 conductors that we can use. And that runs up into here, which you can't really see, but this is where the inputs were, here and here. So the bottom of the case is just a piece of 6mm MDF, and there's a number of holes on the bottom. 4 of them will hold the standoffs to keep the PCB from the kit up high, and then all these other ones on the contour, these are the ones that screw into the case. So those are 832 screws, and on the other side there's 832 brass plugs that get pushed in and are melted into the case that's 3D printed. The other ones all over the place are holding things like the transformers and the solid state relay and other boards and stuff. They're all just attached by screws on the bottom. The metal ones are used for ground, so the transformers, for example, need to be grounded. So anytime I've connected a ground wire, I happen to use a metal screw on the bottom. In the back corner here we have terminal block, and we use this for disconnecting the C14 power outlet on the back. It makes it easier to assemble and disassemble the case. This is the SparkFun audio board. You can see here the left and right and ground for the inputs connected in here. And I happen to add 2 JST connectors. This one is just for the button on the back, which really doesn't do much at the moment, but it lets you program a button feature if you'd like. In my case, if you press it, it just quickly turns the unit on. It doesn't wait however long it takes to detect that there's sound. And over here I've got power input and ground, and then on the other lines here I've got ground, and there's the pin 9 that's going to the solid state relay. There's this blue cable over here. So I can just quickly disconnect these JST connectors. It's made makes assembling and disassembly a lot easier, and that just fits on in here. So the volume knob has 6 screws on it, but 2 of them actually go all the way through to the center, and it's kind of difficult, but inside the center here is a 2 inserts like this. So when those 2 screws that go all the way through, this one over here and then the same on the other side, they will act as a set screw and press on the attenuator right here. So to install that, we just press that on, make sure it goes in all the way, and then tighten up those screws, and that'll set into the attenuator knob in the attenuator, and then you'll be able to adjust it. Of course, we'll screw in both sides.